Because if you get nicked with it and the police get it back, it's pointless, you've done it. You know what I mean? So we used to get rid of money quick, nick your money, spend your money, want more, eventually get caught, go to prison for many years, come out, and what are you good for? You're good for doing what you've done before you went to prison, because prison teaches you nothing. And that's why we could never get out of the game. Money comes and goes.
Money comes and goes, that's true. Did you ever carry a weapon?
When I became an armed robber, it was tools of your trade. You know, you had to carry something in order to intimidate and frighten people to give you their money. Every time I went out of my house, I had to check that I had at least one weapon with me. One was normally a gun. I used to carry a knife as well as a gun. Sometimes I would carry two guns, a knife and a stun gun. The only thing I've never really carried on the streets, and my mate offered me one time, was a box of grenades for £20 each.
£20?
Yeah, this was back in the 70s when you could get stuff like that nicked off army camps. I wouldn't carry a grenade because it's indiscriminate, but I always had to have something to protect myself and protect my family. And mainly, I've got to say, it was from the police. Did you carry weapons?
I carried a weapon, just a knife. I say just a knife because it's not just a knife, it's bad, but just a knife, like, just always on the waist.
Did you ever use the knife?
Yeah, of course. Of course, it's not a toy.
A lot?
No, not a lot. I always had a mentality which other people don't share. Like, if I don't like that one person, it's just that one person. Nowadays, people are like, cool. If I don't like A wants B and C, then I'll get all of them. I'm not like that. I'm like, only this person's done me wrong. I'm not one of these people that was stabbed on over a girl. Must have been late 2014. Lewisham had the worst stabbing rate in the whole of the boroughs.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think it's got worse?
I think everyone has to take a bit of the blame. I think police service for lack of numbers. I think even parents, for the way they parent people, social media for what they condemn and what they allow, councils, like there's no youth clubs. I don't see any youth clubs, I don't know if you do.
Yeah, budget cuts.
I couldn't be an MP or nothing because I would just blame so many people. I think at the moment everyone's so worried about the youth, they're not really worried about youth. People getting stabbed left, right and centre. Describe the moment you knew there was no turning back on crime.
For me, it was every time I went in to rob somewhere, you know, I kind of felt the fear, but I couldn't, it was never a turning point. It was never a stop. Your gun's already half out, your mask's already half down. As you walk across the pavement and put your hand on the door of the premises, you're going to rob, because by then, you've committed yourself. What was the moment you knew when there was no turning back?
When you start to sit there, you regret something. That's when I knew there was no turning back. I know that would probably deter some people, but with me, like I'm far too gone now. Like, I probably went from selling 2 packs a day to 10 packs a day. I was always smart to know what I was doing was wrong, but I just never allowed myself to get to the stage to kind of reconcile that, to fix it. Once I see money, I can stop.
I was more into the adrenaline rush, the danger, you know what I mean, the absolute feeling of being alive when you walk across that pavement. I was an insignificant kid, you know what I mean, I used to get bullied and beaten up by all the other gangs and that. So when I became in charge, when I had a gun in my hand or a weapon in my hand, I was 10 foot tall.
After you're over that initial fear, that initial like shit that's gonna be bad, it's all up. It's all like you're ready, it's all positive, it's all happy, you love what you're doing, and you must see it. Things deteriorate quickly. Like from 1 bank to 2 banks to 4 banks.
It becomes an addiction. Same as violence. Violence can be an addiction as well.
Yeah, adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
Describe prison food in 2 words.
Absolute shite.
Describe the contraband that was being sold.
Right, have we got it now? You can buy anything in prison. If you've got the money, you can buy anything. Knives, Dartmoor was favourite for that, and the workshop made prison beds. So you can imagine the knives that come out of Dartmoor workshop, you're talking about sabres and everything, daggers. The only thing you can't buy is a woman. Not in British jails. Fault. Of course you can, because they used to have the prostitutes coming from the outside. Yes, you're right. I think the worst thing you can buy in prison, in the top security prisons, is you can buy someone's life. And you can get someone killed for 1/4 ounce of heroin, I think was the main price.
Was that £200 a road, is that?
Yeah. What things did you do to keep sane in prison?
Keep saying the visits. My mum, every month, every single month she was there, niece and nephew, my sisters. That's the only thing you look forward to. You must agree, that's visits are the only thing we look forward to in prison, like.
I was different. I refused visits. I wouldn't let people come in from the outside because I didn't want the outside world intruding onto prison, because I think you can't live with 1 foot in prison and 1 foot outside. And because my sentences were very, very long, I kind of like, visits weren't for me. So my way of keeping sane was causing them as much trouble as I could, all the way through my prison system. Any way I could do it, I would do it. I'd make hooch, I would sell weapons, I would sell drugs, I would assault screws, I would set up riots, I would attack sex offenders. So I decided to myself, listen, if you want a criminal, I'm going to give you a fucking criminal. It was just mental, but it kept me going all the time, and it kept my brain ticking over until I discovered education. And once I discovered education, that became my drug, and that kept me sane.
So me and education, we never clicked. Right. Yeah, we never really liked each other, me and education. So
bunk school all the time.
I was just probably scared to be like, if I don't get the result I want, I'm going to look stupid, so I might as well just be the class clown. From there, so it all kind of started probably like, I got kicked out 2 weeks for my GCSEs, had like 9 months out of school. Literally just loyal until next opportunity arises. Everyone's probably done bad or wants to be bad in their life, goes through a little stage, a little window, maybe 13 or 15, where it's cool to be arrested, have blue cards around you, look almost famous.
I think if you don't educate yourself, then you can't understand the concept of rehabilitation. That's why so many people in jail, it's like a revolving door to them, because they don't learn anything, they don't apply themselves, they just want to lay on the bed and watch the telly or take drugs.
Since going to prison stuff, I've done open university and all this stuff, I'm learning the language now.
But you said you've been doing education since. Do you enjoy it now?
No, I don't enjoy it. No, I don't enjoy it. I just do it.
What do you do now?
So in prison I learned my craft in coffee. I'm a barista, I'm a roaster, do a bit of work, do a bit of fixing machines and stuff like that. So now I work for a homeless charity, who we hire homeless people through coffee, we pay them a living wage, all that stuff. And hopefully sooner rather than later, I'm going to be teaching them how to make coffee. And I also work with kids with challenging behaviours, probably kids that were like me, like 8 years old or whatever. You must do something you're proud of.
Yeah, when I was in jail I wrote some books.
Nice.
Become a pretty talented writer, and when I got out I joined Inside Time, which is the national prison newspaper. And I'm the commissioning editor. I do a lot of talks and criminology tours, and I go to schools and young offenders places and speak to them and try and let them know that what they see, what they think their impression of prison is, as you well know, is not what it really is, and basically try and put people off. If you can stop one person from going down the line that we went down, then I think that is a job well done and it's worth it. And I think what you're doing now is a good thing.
So man, thanks so much, man.
Nice one.
You, my friend, the first thing you said to me when I sat down was, oh my God, you look like somebody I arrested before. Dude, I've known you for like 2 minutes, I don't even know your name. Can I have all my people who currently or previously worked in law enforcement against that wall, all other people on that side? I am nervous about what is going to happen today.
Apparently people are a lot braver than I am, so, they're a lot more comfortable with their stories. So.
All right, my disagreeers, come on in.
I'm just more excited to be here and to share my stories and hear everybody else's story.
For me, more so, it's, our situation, like you're kind of conditioned, like, you guys are the enemy. You know, I don't know how you guys feel about us, or, you know, I've never had a deeper conversation with law enforcement.
Probably from your point of view is that it doesn't always seem like the justice system is fair. I think that what you find, though, if you truly love this job and this work, that you strive to find that balance and fairness.
I'm puzzled by what he's saying because I've never heard anything like this before. Because, I mean, if it's true what you're saying, then how come police aren't policing police? Why are you standing idly by while your fellow officers are going around shooting and killing unarmed black people? Why is that happening?
I have done something illegal in my life.
Illegal? I probably did. I sold drugs, that's why I did. I sold a shit ton of drugs. And I didn't have family. I never, you know, I mean, I grew up in foster homes. I didn't have any type of family. But I fucking knew that when I went to prison, I knew I didn't want to come back to this shit. You know what I'm saying? So while I was in prison, I knew I needed to start there and build a foundation. I've been out of trouble since 1999, you know, so.
I chose to commit my own crimes when I was younger. I wanted the violence. I could have easily chose to do something else, but I was always there when things were going to happen.
I was thinking about between my professional life or my personal life.
That's your life. Anything illegal, dude. Anything illegal, man. We're playing like that.
I think that, like, you know, it's one of those things where, like, you look at, for instance, have I killed anybody? Have I robbed anybody? Have I, like, all these major felonies? No. Have I sped before? Yeah, absolutely.
You know, what I hear is you're telling me there's levels of legality. I mean, I used to be sort of on that end too. Like, I grew up well, I went to private schools. I mean, I'm not somebody, you know, like, with stereotype as somebody who's gone to prison, you know, and then I've gone to prison and I just find out how fucked up the system is. I mean, what about the guy who goes out, has dinner and has a drink, ends up spending 7 or 8 years in prison because somebody started a fight with them. But then I meet people in prison who've shot somebody in the back of the head, execution style, and only got 10 years for it, you know, whereas for me, I spent 13 years in prison because somebody was hurting my family, and I thought, like, okay, well, we're gonna go get our stuff back from this person, and I get conspiracy to commit robbery, conspiracy to, you know, use a gun, which has added another 10 years, and nothing ever happened, you know, nobody got hurt, and, like, maybe it's cultural, maybe it's, you know, I grew up where, like, you defend your family, you know, and yeah, like, was it a bad mistake? Sure.
Can I ask the question, though, like, why your first thought wasn't, like, let me call the cops to help solve this issue?
Because, you know what, like, from my experience growing up, cops don't help. They just come by, show up, make a great show of doing their jobs, and then leave. But I'm just saying, there's no consistency in the system. It makes no sense. It depends on which county you go to, which judge you show up in front of. It's a political game. That's not justice.
Well, what would you consider justice to be?
I mean, I would like to see that, you know, there would be some consistency. If I go to LA County or San Diego or wherever, that the same crimes would carry at the same time. There would be some, you know, consideration for, you know, situations. I don't think there is.
I believe in the justice system.
The criminal justice system truly does help to protect societies. If we did not have it, that there would be chaos.
Well, it may not be perfect right now, but we need a justice system and we have to believe it.
For some reason, it just seems to me that if you were from a wealthier family, you're easy to get off the hook. When I was fighting my case, I had a cellie who was fighting the same crime that I committed for an attempted murder. He had came back and said that the judge gave him 1 year with 2 strikes. I don't know how that went about, but for me, I ended up getting 10 years with 1 strike. And his family was wealthy.
In that, did you have priors? Did he have priors?
I had no priors. I just didn't understand why is it that, you know, if your family has more money, it's easier to get off the hook.
A lot of times I saw that if you have a private attorney, high-power attorney, I guess you have a better chance of getting off than having a public defender. That could be a little hole in the criminal justice system, but that's how it is right now, and then I don't know how to address that issue. So I guess that's
it shouldn't be a game. It shouldn't be a game with people's lives. Like, how can I get this win? How can I negotiate a win with this person's life?
At the end of the day, man, it's all about money and it's about numbers. And there's no money in rehabilitation, man. There's money in recidivism. There's money in...
If I could give up my job today as a result of no other people going to jail, which means that they would actually stop committing crimes, I would do it in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah, but there's not too many people like you.
If we had a system full of guys like you, I mean, that'd be awesome.
I think that's but again, see what you just said is that's the perception that you have, is that there are not.
It's a reality for us. For me, when I was inside and the nonprofit that I work for, we had, you know, the programs in there, and this is a class that is going to help them, you know, actually do something with their lives. Every evening while the guys are going to class, like, they get harassed, and then we come out of class and all the cops are lined up and, like, get on the wall, strip search, tear up textbooks, tear up their personal property, their homework. Like, yeah, that's how the system is. Like, on the way out of prison, officers were telling me, like, I'll see you back on the next one. You know, like, that's fucking bullshit.
I was surprised by someone's response today.
Out of everybody in the circle, that he was the first one to actually voice the fact that he made choices. It's in that moment that they claim dominion over themselves. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think any one of us right here sat here and say, like, I didn't make my own choices. I understand I made my own choice. I got myself on time. I think I get the sense that you do too.
Definitely, without doubt.
I think the larger issue is that the system is broken. And that's what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with taking ownership of my actions. It's society not taking ownership of its own creation.
And I hope you don't hear that. He was the only person who was vocal in saying that. I will ask you this, and I'll challenge you. Do you know who your representative is? Have you ever contacted their office?
No.
Have you ever contacted your Congress member?
No.
Then I suggest that you should.
I mean,
and here's the thing, because you strike me as a very smart individual that has the ability to go and influence.
I agree with you. I just think that you need to take a walk in our shoes. You know, like, and I don't mean any disrespect by this, but you sound like a law enforcement pamphlet. You know, like, you sound like every perfect thing that they want you to say. It's kind of like when you work in a company and the CEO says, this is the policy. But when you're on the ground level, you know that there are certain things that just doesn't work in reality. I think you have, you know, great views, and I think if we had, you know, like just a team of law enforcement that's exactly like you two, you know, that have the same views, like, it would be great. You know, but I also think that there is reality. When you come out of prison, everything's just so stacked against you. Like,
I think that's a commonality. So, like, for instance, when I talk about coming out of the military, I had people that told me when and where to be, all these rules and regulations, and when I got out, you know, there was nobody there. Same thing happens in prison. You have to break out of the prison mind mentality.
Here's the difference between and I agree with you, there's a lot of similarities, there are a lot of commonalities with prison and the military. However, when you're in the military, you're told you're the men of this country, you're the defenders of this country, you're men. When you go to prison, we were told that we're pieces of shit, we were told that we're animals, you know, and when you've gone through a decade of that, it gets in your head. Inside your mind, it's like, who am I? Like, who am I to think that I can do these things? It just turns you into nothing. You know, it makes you believe that you're nothing, that you can't do it. And that's something that you can't put into, you know, LAPD policy, you know, and that's what the justice system does to you. Like, it breaks you.
But you know what, I can tell you this. Me looking at you, I don't see any of the things that you talk about. I would hope for you, for actually all three of you, that, you know, that you guys are able to escape those boundaries that have been created. Because guess what? At the end of the day, like, you have one life to live, and it's going to be predicated on the decisions that you make now.
I believe the justice system could be better.
I honestly believe that they have a structure in place